Happy Friday! It's my Thursday. And I am vlogging. I just finished my videos. And I am getting ready. Let me just show you some shit, okay? We have been waiting for this patio. I cannot even tell you for so long that we were like, this year, we are not doing one thing to our patio. We are not getting new furniture, because we have been planning to buy brand new furniture. We have the money saved and everything. Are you ready for this? I'm just gonna let you in on a little secret. Look at our patio. Look at that furniture out there. We got weeds sticking up from underneath our patio. Alex is like, you need to go clean that. I'm like, no, I'm not cleaning that up. They're building us a new patio. And I don't know, that is over it. I hate that patio. So anyway, I am getting ready to go to the post office and then get something to eat for dinner because I am really hungry. And I'm still on my diet. I have done so well on my diet so far. I'm so excited about it. And I know, do, 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 do. Yeah, so anyway, I've done really well. It's day 2 of my diet, and I've stuck to my diet. I need to water my plants. And, so yeah, so life is cool, life is good. I'm not super hungry today. I filmed my so-called Healthy Life channel video, and I was going to just do it like once a week with my weight update, but I think I'm going to do it every day. That way people can keep up with me. I don't know what you think, but so I made a little video talking about things that inspired me and all that kind of stuff. And I'm drinking so much water, it's ridiculous. But that's good, right? They closed the grocery store by us now, so it's like hard to go and get like to the grocery store because I have to like go out of my way. And it's quitting hour traffic, and I don't really want to do that. I know it sounds lame, like I'm making excuses, right? But it's the truth. And can you guys even see me over there? So do you guys just get the biggest, like, junk mail ever? We get, like, just trash. Junk. We don't need any of that junk. I know. I'm so excited for Booktubeathon. It's coming. It's coming faster than you know it. Okay, so guess what? I finished last night, the night before, I finished, because I'm trying to catch up on all my books. I finished The Great American, or no, last night, hold on. 2 nights ago, I finished, here's all my water I've been drinking. 2 nights ago, I finished, what's it called? The last 5th grade of Emerson Elementary. And last night, hold on, I'm about to tell you, I'm filling these water bottles up so I can keep on drinking them. Drink all the water that you can. Last night I finished, I was halfway through with it. I started it last August 26th, and I finished The Great American Whatever by Tim Federall. It's about a gay kid whose sister, he's just coming out, and his sister is killed in a car accident. And kind of a love affair and stuff like that. It actually was pretty good. So, there's that. And now, what do I have left? Summer Days and Summer Nights by Stephanie Perkins. Tilt by Ellen Hopkins. Perks of Being a Wallflower. It's a reread. I may not finish that one. And then today, I am working my way through The Mistletoe Secret, the Christmas book. That's my book for today. And I am also working on the Summer That Melted Everything by Tiffany McDaniel. So those are the books that I'm working on today. And once I get that 10-minute reviews, oh my god. So I'm going to read really hard tonight. And I am caught up on No, I'm not caught up. I'm 4 episodes behind on Big Brother, so when I get those done, I will be completely caught up on Big Brother. But there's always like a new episode. So it's Thursday, so there's another episode tonight. So I'll have 5 episodes. But I'm getting caught up, and I'm reading Ramona Blue on Audible. And I'm halfway through it. Oh my God, that book is so good. So, all right, you guys, I will talk to you in a little while. Hello. I just dropped Tanya off. She is going to the lake with her husband and son and his girlfriend and another friend of theirs and their daughter. And I think their daughter's bringing a friend for a week. I won't see Tanya for a week. So, yeah, there's that. So we went and got, I know, I'm dieting, but I got a Fountain Diet Pepsi. But I have stuck to my diet today, so I'm very proud of myself other than the Diet Pepsi. So 2 days in a row, I have stuck to my diet. And I've drank so much water today that I've like literally been on the toilet for like every 5 minutes. Tanya got this. She's always like getting these like chocolate milks. She's like, do you care if I leave it in the car? I'm like, I guess not. So anyway. We were talking about like taking like trips, and it was reminding me of like all of these trips I used to take back in the day. So like 4 or 5 years before my mom passed away, so like my aunt and uncle at that time, they would go to Florida every other year. And I love the movie Smoky Mountain Christmas with Dolly Parton. And so I told my mom, I said, I think we should rent a cabin in Gatlinburg. And this is when I was with my ex. And it was when my aunt and uncle were out of town for Christmas one year. And she's like, well, if you want to do it, we can do it. So we went and we got this gorgeous cabin, and it was so much fun. And I've actually told that whole story in a video. I don't think I told this first time, but it was so funny. And, you know, it's like a 7-hour drive from Indianapolis. I think maybe a little bit longer than that. 7. There was like so much construction. We left at like 8. We left at like 8 a.m. on like the 8 p.m. on like the 22nd. So we got there at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. on like the 23rd. And like went right into our condo. And we took like a friend of ours that time too, our friend Scott. And we had this like 3-bedroom cabin that like, I mean, it was so, feather beds, this huge screen TV. The whole thing was so, it looked like grandma's at Christmas, like up in the mountains. It was gorgeous, it was exactly what I wanted. And pool tables, and it had like, you know, old like arcade games, and the kitchen was huge, and granite countertops. It was just so cool. And, but when we got there, like, we drove through Pigeon Forge, and then we drive into Gatlinburg, and my mom's like, are we, like, really on the mountain? And I'm like, yes, Mom, we're, like, on the mountain. She's like, oh, no, I can't do it. She's, like, so panicked because we started, like, going up, and, like, we literally were, like, a mile up. And we were not, like, in the mountains at all. But she was so panicked about it, and she was like, I can't do this, don't make me do this, I can't do this, don't make me do this. This later happened. This was the last Christmas that we ever had together. She did that to me when we were coming back from the casino, which I'm, by the way, going to the casino right now. So I'm getting ready to pull into the bank machine, and I'll have to turn this off for a second. So anyway, my husband and his friend go to that restaurant all the time, Luvino. But, I remember, like, I finally, like, with my mom, sometimes you had to be kind of, like, a little forceful, and I was like, Mother, please be quiet. It was probably, that's a lie straight from the pit of hell. It was probably like, Mom, shut up. I was like, Mom, shut up. You're going to be fine. And she was, and we got there, and I remember she, like, got out, and she, like, walked around. She's like, oh my God, this is incredible. And she was so excited. And the next day we woke up, and we couldn't find my mom, and she was walking all over the mountain, all up in the cabins, the different cabins. And, oh, look, there's a little bunny rabbit. Hey, little bunny rabbit. You guys want to see the bunny rabbit? That's good luck, see? Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. You had to look close if you wanted to see it, but he ran away. Oh, no, ma'am, we don't need that. So, anyway, and then Oh, the second part of this story, I'll have to tell you in a second, because that's what Tanya and I were talking about, because she was telling me that. She's like, well, I always take all of my food down there when I go with her friend, when she was talking about going with her friend. She's like, she always likes to take the food ahead of time, so they have like packed coolers. And she's like, I prefer to go down there and go to Walmart, which is like the second part of the story, and I'll tell you that in a second. Okay, I'm back. So, anyway. But Tanya was like, I miss like, when we go to like the lake, because I used to go to Tanya to the lake every summer. A bunch of us that were sober together would go down there and get a cabin. She's like, I miss like going into Walmart and all of us like getting what we wanted, and like string cheese and all that kind of stuff, and chips, and I was like, oh my God, one of the things I miss the most about going to Gatlinburg is like my mom and I and Sean, my ex, would go to Kroger like the day that we got down there. I mean, I was so fat at that. I'm heavy now, but I was really fat then and loved to eat. And we would go to the grocery store, and I did not care. I was like, I did not care how much weight I gained on this trip. We would get all kinds of sausage biscuits and stuff for pancakes and Totino's pizza and pizza rolls. We'd stayed up. I mean, like, when we would go to Gatlinburg for Christmas, you know, there was not a whole lot to do at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we weren't big on going out back then anyway. So we would, like, you know, we would stay up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning watching movies. So, like, from 9 to 4, we would watch movies, like horror movies, and just get scared and eat pizza rolls and treat. It was so much fun. I miss that. Oh my God, it was like having one giant sleepover for a week. I miss that so much. Like, it was so much fun. Like, my life is kind of like one giant sleepover, because I have my dogs and my husband, and like, I have a pretty charmed life, you know. Like, I was thinking about that today. It's like, I worked a lot today, which for me was like 4 hours. And I was like, you know, I have a really charmed life. Like, I just do, you know, like, and I have lots of fun things. I'm very grateful for my life. I just, you know, and, but one of the things I do miss is having like people come stay in the summer. My mom always had people come and stay in the summer. My mom's best friend, Susie, who I just talked to the other day, she would always come and stay in the summer with her daughter, who's like exactly my age, and then she's another daughter that's like 3 years older, and I call her Mother Susie. I love Susie so much, and we're trying to go out and visit her sometime this year. But anyway, it was my mom's sorority sister from college, and I will never forget, like, this is totally a random story, but anyway, Susie would come in the summer with her daughter, and they would stay for a week, and like, we would have all kinds of food, and we would like go out to dinner or go out to lunch, but then we would have like sit down dinners, and you know, we would play like just all night long. It was like so much fun, you know, like I can just remember it, like, because it was like my mom's sorority sister, like they would have other sorority sisters that knew them from college over, and they would just like sit around, and you know, I can just remember they'd be smoking cigarettes till 2 o'clock in the morning with all the windows open, sitting on the front porch, you know, music blasting and talking, just all that talking. We just sit there like kids, and her daughter and I would just like sit there, and we would like, and then they would go in, so like Susie would sleep in my mom's bed with her, because my mom had this huge ginormous California king bed, and so Susie's daughter and I would sleep on my bunk beds, and then I'd be like, come on, let's go in there, and we would sneak in there, and they would be like singing Pi Phi cookie shines, because my mom and Susie were Pi Phis, and they'd be like, Pi Phi, Pi Phi, Pi Beta Phi, I'll be a Pi Phi all my life until the day I die, I wouldn't be a Kappa, Digi, or Alpha Chi, be a Pi Phi, a Pi Phi, a Pi, a Beta Phi, and if I have a little boy, I'll tell you what I'll do. But anyway, that's not the Pi Phi cookie shine song, but we would have a Pi Phi cookie shine, and a Pi Phi cookie shine is when you make a bunch of cookie dough and you spread it out over a whole cookie sheet, and then you sing the Pi Phi songs. Oh my God. There's Pi Phis out there like, oh my God, you're not supposed to be doing that right now, but it was so much fun. And then we would sneak in there in the dark, you know, and we would like scare them, and then we would like, we'd be like, come on, can we just please sleep on the floor? Can we please sleep on the floor? And I remember she and I would, Carrie and I would sleep on the floor, like with our pillows. It would be so hot, like tonight. My mom always, like, she hated air conditioning in the summer because our house was in the woods. So at night, it got super cool, and she would have all the windows open, and you could hear, like, the crickets outside in the woods. And then, like, they would just, like, she and Susie would talk to, like, literally, like, till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And, like, and Carrie and I would just, like, fall asleep with our moms, like, talking. Like, love that memory. Makes me kind of miss my mom a little bit, but You have to recreate memories, I think. I think it's really easy to, like, see, I get real teary-eyed thinking about that because I think, like, you know, those days are over. I miss those. Those days are going to be over if my mother was alive or not, you know, but I remember the last time Susie came. Well, Susie's been here a couple times since my mom passed away. She came out and she took Alex and I out to dinner for our wedding and got us a very nice present. And I love Susie so much. And I mean, just salt of the earth, one of the best people I've ever known. And she comes out like every 2 years. She came out for a high school reunion last, I think. So anyway, and she's good friends with my dad, and she was really good friends with my aunt. I'm gonna get real emotional telling this story. I don't know why I just remembered this, but the last time that she came out with my mom, they went down to homecoming at IU, and they got a picture taken in front of the Pi-Fi house together. And so they came home, and my mom had so much fun, and they were like sitting around talking, and I can totally see my mom there. She always had like her last 5 years of her life, my mom had this very like Victoria Beckham kind of like bob, but it was very cute. And you know, she was sitting there. I can remember walking in, just like, Peter, oh my God, and we had so much fun. And she's like smoking cigarettes, and they're sitting around smoking, and like I was with my ex at the time that I went over there. That would have been like, well, when would have homecoming be for IU, Indiana University? October, November, probably October. And so he and I broke up in December. My mom passed away in May. And I remember when I drove away that night, and that was in the condo that I live in now. So like, you know, I remember I drove away that night, and I like was just so overwhelmed, like with emotion and feeling. And I got home, and Sean was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to see those two in the same room. Like, I had such a weird feeling about it. I was like, I don't think I'll ever see them in the same room together again. I think like Susie will never come back out here again, or like my mom will pass away. And like my mom was 64 at the time, you know, like I didn't think, like, she wasn't sick. She was perfectly fine, you know. And then the next time I saw Susie, I didn't know she was coming in for my mom's funeral, and I was in line at the viewing, and she just walked in and just like stood in the line, you know, like she was just anybody else. It's like my mom's best friend, you know, always. She had two best friends, Diane from high school, who died 3 years before she did, and Susie. And she had flown all the way in from the West, you know, and when I saw her there, I just was like, I had no clue, I had no idea Susie would come out there for that, you know, like, I had talked to her on the phone, and funny little story, that my mother thought she had all her money tied up, that she had this life insurance policy that would immediately pay for any funeral expenses, right? Well, the guy had screwed her, the financial advisor. It was a real mess, let me just tell you, with attorneys and everything involved, but it was actually an annuity. It wasn't a life insurance policy. And so I could not pay for the funeral. The funerals are very expensive. And I could not pay for the funeral until this annuity got cashed out. And so I did not want, I knew it would be an issue with my dad and my stepmom. Like, I knew my stepmom would be like, she'd have some issues with that, which understandably so, even though my stepmom was very, you know, like, she had no issues with my mom. But I think asking my dad to pay for my mom's funeral was maybe probably pushing it, you know. And I didn't know who to say. I was telling Susie, and Susie said, I'll put it on my credit card, so you don't even worry about it. She said, you can pay me back as soon as you get it through. I mean, no questions asked. No questions asked. And I paid her back as soon as I got it. But when I saw her standing there in line, I just was like, as like happy as I was to see her, it felt like Like, I really realized that it was, like, such an end of an era. And, like, the day after, like, after the funeral, like, my aunt had this big, like, dinner, like, cocktail hour party at her house. And, which my dad came, and my stepmom came, too, and I mean, all these people. It was packed. And, it was so weird, because I was, like, standing in the garage with my friend Liz, and we were standing out there. My aunt came out there with her friend Betty, who was so classy, but like 70, and always like, you know, very Chanel'd out. And my aunt was like, we were out there in the garage smoking cigarettes with my cousin Caroline. We were like, my Aunt Kathy goes, give me a cigarette. And I go, Aunt Kathy, you quit smoking years ago. She goes, I get one funeral cigarette, and so does Betty. And Betty said, that's right. At every one of our best friends' funerals, we get one cigarette. They stood out there and smoked with us. It was so cute. And they probably were a little tanked at that point. My aunt did not do well with my mom's passing, but isn't it weird that we sometimes find, you know, camaraderie in funerals? Isn't that so strange? That those are some of our most memorable times. And, but Susie had a good time at that thing. I think she stayed at my aunt's for all of that. Like, she was staying at my aunt's house, because she and my aunt were really good friends, too, because my aunt was also a Pi-Phi. And then my dad and Susie are, like, really good friends back in the day. Like, I think my dad and Susie were friends before my mom and my dad dated. I know that my aunt and my dad were friends before my mom and my dad dated. So anyway, but then, like, in, like, October, was it? September, maybe? Susie came for a high school reunion. Would that have been last summer? I bet it would have been last summer sometime. Yeah, it must have been last summer. Because Susie came to town. And, I can't remember where she stayed. Oh, she stayed at my Aunt Kathy's house. And, so I met them. Alex and I met them for dinner at this restaurant called Daddy Jack's. That is very much like where the divorced ladies and divorced men meet up in Indianapolis, apparently. But anyway, great food. And Betty was there. And, I need to stop just fucking editing. Like, I'm so worried about what people will think about these people that aren't even around anymore. I mean, like, afterwards, like, I was not okay with this, but Betty had this, like, ginormous Lexus, huge, right? And she had, I swear to God, about 6 scotch and sodas at dinner. And she, like, just got behind the wheel of her car before I even knew anything was going on. And I said, Betty, let me give you a ride home. Oh, no, honey, I'm fine. And I just live around the corner. My Aunt Kathy looked at me and she goes, she truly does just live right around the corner. And I'm like, she can't drive. She had this ginormous Lexus. And she's like, oh, honey, I'm fine. I do it all the time. Don't worry about it. I was like, I can't save the world, you know? So there went Betty and her 6 scotch and sodas down the street. So skinny and tall and just like so put together, you know, like always, but just kind of so funny, like a character. My aunt always had all these friends that were very much characters in her lives. So anyway, but after that, people ask me a lot. They're like, do you always smoke? I'm like, no, but there are times that I do, and I'm not gonna lie about it. And so afterwards, I was Alex had to get home because he had to work the next morning. It was like 8:30, and he needed to be in bed by like 10 because he had to be up really early. And he said, Susie was like, why don't you come over? And Susie doesn't drink at all. And she was like, why don't you come over to your aunt's and like we can sit with your Aunt Kathy and have a cup of coffee and, you know, smoke a couple cigarettes. And I was like, no, I probably just need to go home. And Alex was like, babe, just take me home and drop me off and then go over to Aunt Kathy's house. And I was like, okay. And I never would normally say that, and I was dressed really nice, and I went home and I dropped him off and I put on some shorts and a t-shirt and I went back over there, and Susie and I sat in my aunt's bedroom for like an hour and a half and just told old stories. And my aunt brought out this beautiful dress that she had designed. that she was going to wear to her 50th wedding anniversary when we all went to French Lick last year, that she took us all to French Lick. Which sounds kind of dirty now that I say it, but it's a like spa casino area in Indiana. It's very nice. She was so excited about this dress, which was actually a dress that Caroline was like, I don't know what to marry her in, and I was like, the dress. She loved the dress, Caroline. Just, doesn't really matter anyway, But we had so much fun. We just laughed so hard, and then like Susie and I sat in the basement and like smoked like one cigarette after another and drank like 3 cups of coffee each. And I was like, I'm never gonna be able to sleep. She's like, oh no, me neither. We were like laughing, and I thought, before you know it, like your life is just like passed you by, kind of, like my mom's gone, my aunt's sick. Susie's probably not going to come out here and visit a whole lot more once my aunt is gone, or I won't see her. And the other day when I was talking to her on the phone, she was like begging us to come out. She was like, please, Peter, I've asked you for like 25 years, please come out. You and Alex would have so much fun. I would love to have you, And Carrie, her daughter, lives right across the street from her, and I love Carrie. Carrie and I were raised like, like cousins, and it was very much like To Kill a Mockingbird with like Dill coming into town in the summers. We're 7 days apart, and I don't know why I don't go out there and visit her. I guess I should. And like, I don't like get really like sad over my aunt or like my mom. I get sad just about the fact that like, I think once you realize like how much really like life is just like so in those moments, of like crawling into the bedroom and sleeping as your mom is falling asleep talking to her best friend, or like sitting up and telling old stories, or having funeral cigarettes. Like, life is really in those moments. Life is not about the big shit. Life is not about hitting a certain amount of subscribers, although that's nice, or winning an Oscar, or getting a book published, or getting a career. Those things are amazing and they're wonderful, and I think it's great that we all work towards them, but life is really not about those things. Like, at the end of it, it just really isn't. And once you start losing some people in your life, you really realize that people and memories are what make life important, So anyway, but Susie is still doing great, so I don't have to worry about her going anywhere soon, I don't think. And my dad is like so healthy and stuff, I just never see him, Well, I haven't gotten emotional in a vlog in a while, so there you go. Oh, that felt really good to just get that out and kind of talk about that. Plus, I never want to forget about those things, like that night at my aunt's, going out to dinner with Susie and my aunt and Betty and Alex. Like, that was such a great night, like such a good night. I'll never forget my aunt had on this like this green top that was like very artistic. It was like this green linen with this big like neck thing. And then she had on like these black leggings that like buttoned up the sides, these like black like stacked, she looked so gorgeous, and these huge black sunglasses, and her hair was really, my mom was blonde and my aunt was like, had dark hair that was like very short. Very Kris Jenner looking, my aunt, but older obviously. Like, that's what drives me, like, when I think about, oh, I want to go to the pool and swim, oh, I can go tomorrow. It's like, it pushes me to do that stuff like today. Or if I want to do this, go do it today, go do it today, go do it today, because we don't know how many tomorrows we have, and it's like, those are the things that, like, I think make life so wonderful. I don't know, it's like, Life is strange like that, I think, but it's beautiful too. I'm not afraid of feeling things. There's so many people that are like, you're like, oh, you cry a lot, or you seem to get upset about things. Like, I was on my YouNow stream tonight. Tanya said, you seem really angry tonight on your YouNow stream. I said, yeah, it took me an hour to get on there. I couldn't get on there. She's like, yeah, well, you could tell you were pissed off. I go, I don't care. I mean, like, I'm not afraid of my emotions and my feelings. There's nothing wrong with it. I think maybe what's wrong is that more people need to learn how to express their feelings and get them out and not push them down, you know? Anyway, I need to plan a little weekend getaway for the summer before the summer's over, somewhere to the Indiana dunes or a lake cottage or something. I want to do something like that this summer. I think that would be fun. So, anyway, do you know what this is? This is how girls, they go, when they do glam pageants. Is that what they call them? No, that's not glam pageants. Full glam. Yeah, glam pageants. I judged a few of those before. Full face glam pageant. I had so much fun. Oh my God, that's another story. I had so much fun judging a beauty pageant for kids one time. And it was not what you thought it was. It was not a bunch of screaming, yelling moms being mean. It was kids running around, going to the pool, eating nachos in the hallway. It was so cute. The dads, too. I've never seen so many dads in a beauty pageant my entire life. The whole family would come for it. I was so impressed with how the whole thing was done. Anyway, all right, that's a different night, so I'm going to get off here now. I'm almost to the casino anyway. And I will talk to you guys later. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Oh my God, tomorrow's Friday. It'll be your Friday when you're watching this. Thank God. Love you guys. Thank God it's Friday. See you tomorrow.